Hello guys, look at this question, just look at it. Very simple. Let me show you how. By the way, my name is Fred. You're welcome to my channel. Now the question says the frustum of a cone is given in figure 4.4 below. This is the figure. Now draw the given view. We're going to project this, the plan, definitely the sectional plan, because as you can see this cone has been sectioned in this manner. Then thirdly, full pattern development using XX as the same. So full pattern development of the cone. So this is XX, although it wasn't stated in the question, but you should know that this is the seam of the cone. So we're going to develop this way. Very easy. Now let's go. Now the first thing you do, you're going to draw a center line down first, like this. So with thin lines, position your ruler in this form, straight, and draw thin center lines down like that. When you're done, remember these are thin lines, okay? So you might want to drop a perpendicular to the lines at convenient points. So I'm just going to set my ruler to be sure it is 90 degrees to the line. So I think I'm good like this. Yes, this is 90 degrees. So I'm using here as my reference. All right, so I'll support. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move it to the left a little bit. So when I'm drawing the diameter, I'll be good to draw it perfectly well. Okay, now, so drop a perpendicular here with a center line if you like. All right, so just draw a line like that, thin line, do not forget. Then at any convenient point of your choice, just above, draw another line for the base of the triangle you're going to draw, and stop there. All right, now what is the diameter of the base? The diameter is 50. You know the bottom of this triangle is round, so 50 here is same as the diameter. So if we have the diameter as 50, that means the radius we're going to make use of is 25. So we're going to stretch 25 on our pair of compass like this. So here you have it, that's 25. Okay, so you needle at this point, the center here, and describe a circle, thick line, all right, in this manner. So that's it. Now with this same 25, you're going to make marks. Actually, we're going to transfer the lines, but it's still the same thing. Just make marks here, one here on the left and another one here on the right, same 25. Okay, and what we're just going to do is we're going to connect this part with this so they'll match. All right, so that's for that. And connect here with this point here. So all of these lines you see, they are all parallel. Beautiful. Now let's move on. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to determine get the height. So we're told that the height is 70. So I'm going to measure, I'll measure 70 here. So what I'm going to do first is extend this line upward a little bit. All right, now I'm going to measure 70 on it because we're told it's 70. So this is 7. So from this point, connect thin lines to the base here, and thin lines from this point 70 to this base here. I hope that's good. Beautiful. Let's move on. Now the next thing we're going to do here now is we're going to divide the circle into 12 equal parts. Now remember, all of these are thin lines except this circle. All right, so how do you do that? With that same radius, there are many ways to go about it. You can use the same radius you used in drawing the circle, that's the 25. You needle here, you cut the top, you cut the bottom, needle here, still on 25, cut the top, cut the bottom, needle here, cut left, cut right, you needle here, cut left, cut right. So that will be 12 equal parts. There is another way, another method you can use, and that is just try to align your ruler to be horizontal with this horizontal line here. You can use this side as reference, you can use here as reference, whichever one that is convenient. So I'm going to move it down a little bit, and so that I can have a clearance on my ruler. So I'll just place it. So that's it. So this ruler is parallel to all of these lines. So I'm going to place my set square like this in this form. This is another method. You can use any method that is convenient. I will draw a thin line like that. See that? I'm going to turn my set square like this. I'll move it to the left, and I'll draw a thin line like this. Okay, I'm going to turn it again in this form, move it to the right, draw a thin line through the center of the circle like this, and I'll push it to the left like this and draw another thin lines. With this, I have done what? Divided the circle into 12 equal parts. I hope that is clear. All right, now let's move on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to number this circle. All right, numbering is very, very important. That it helps to navigate through the process without making mistakes. All right, so now we're told that we have the seam on this part, the left hand side. Okay, so I'm going to make here 0. It's always good you make the part where you're going to develop the cone or cylinder, whichever one that is given. You make it 0, the part that's the seam where you have the seam. So I'm going to make here 0, and I'm going to go clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 12. Okay, so there we have it. So 1, 2, 2, back to 0, that is 12. Okay, now let us draw the elevation. That's this visible outline. Let's draw it. All right, simple. Now from here we're given, now remember this is not slant height, but what? Perpendicular height. So we're going to measure 35 from here up. All right, so here we have 35, that's 3.5. So we have 3.5 here, and that's our 35. Okay, 3.50. So align your set square like this and transfer lines, horizontal lines, to where you measured 35, and draw thick lines in this form. Now what you're going to do next is you're going to complete the outline with what? Thick lines. So I'm just going to do that off recording. All right, so you can clearly see the difference between the visible outline and the thin lines. All right, so now when this cone is sectioned in this form, definitely when you're viewing from the top, you discover that this part has been what? This part that is sectioned off is going to reflect on the what? The plan. All right, now here is one thing you must also know. Let me quickly just take your mind back to conic section. If you have a cone, this is the elevation of a cone. All right, if you slice the cone off in this form, as you take this part off and you view like this, so if I cut here off, if I'm viewing, what I'll be seeing is a circle. It's going to be a circle. Now if I cut in this form from one side of the cone to the other side, and I view perpendicularly like this, I'm going to be seeing an ellipse. So since this is what? Parallel to the base, the cutting, just like this one, it means this part is going to be what? Circular. So but as you can see here, this is half of it. So what you're going to see is half a circle. That's just it. All right, you don't necessarily need to use a French curve or a flexible curve to draw the curve. At the end of the day, you can just use your pair of compass if you have constructed correctly to draw the part. Okay, that should be visible. So now let me take you through the process of getting that part. Now watch very closely. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer lines up, thin lines. So align your set square with this okay, now align your set square with this vertical line here. All right, now I'm going to transfer lines to 1. Now remember, 1 and 11, they are the same, so I don't necessarily need to draw lines all the way from 11 up. Once I draw this line alone, I know it is representing 1 and 11. Same as this, 2 and 10 is represented. So that's what I'm going to do. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want this place to be crowded with lines. All right, so transfer to 1 and draw to the base. All right, until it touches the base. Thin lines. So that's for 1 and 11. This is for 2 and 10. This is for 4 and that's 4 and 8, because we have 8 at the bottom. Then this is for 5 and 7. That's it. Now the next you do is you take this base to the apex, so you connect them in this form. All right, so there we have it, all lines drawn to the apex. Now the next thing I'm going to do is let me start by first of all drawing the sectional plan first. Okay, so watch very closely. So I'm going to transfer these lines. Now watch, this is 0. All right, now it means that if you trace this up, this point here is also 0. All right, this is 1 and what, 11. So if you trace it up, this point is for 1 and 11. All right, this one is for 2 and what, 10. So if you trace it up, at this point you have 2 and 10. This is for 9 and 3. This is for 8 and 4. This is for 5 and 7. And this is for 6, and so on. Now we're not going to concern ourselves with this part, because this part is not sectioned. So we're just going to stop here all the way down, just this part alone. Now let us transfer lines. Now align your set square with a vertical line. Now watch very closely what I'm doing. Okay, when you're satisfied, now transfer to this point. Remember, this is for what, 0. It means the line you're going to draw will stop at line 0, because this line is for 0. So you transfer to this point here and draw lines from here, thin lines all the way down until it cuts 0. Just stop at line 0 alone. Now remember, what did I tell you? This one is for what, 1 and 11. So you trace, this is for 1 and 11. So if I draw a line down, it's going to cut line 1 and line 11. So transfer a line there and cut 1 and 11 alone. So you see it's cutting 1 at this point and it's cutting 11 at this point. So take note of this point. We have this point here, we have this, we have this. So I'm going to transfer to the next one, which is 2 and 10. So this was line 2 and this is line 10. So I'll transfer to this point here. And I'll draw all the way down. All right, so that's it. Now we have this point of intersection and we have this point of intersection. Now we need a point here. So how do we get this? Now whenever you are faced with this kind of situation, there is no way, because this line is already drawn, so you can't get the exact point. So the only way to do that is to come to the what, elevation, the sectioned elevation. So you needle here, stretch to this point here. Okay, so this is what you now move down. With that radius, you move down, needle at the center, cut the top and cut the bottom. So that's it. So you have these 2 points. Now this is the curve. Now what I tried telling you the other time was that you don't really need a French curve to draw this. The reason being that once you cut a cone parallel to the base, if the slicing process is parallel to the base, what you're going to have is a circle if it is a full cone. But in this case now we have just half of it. That means we're going to have a semicircle. So once you place your pair of compass here, you will discover that this should just go through all the points if you have drawn it correctly. So you see this, it will go through all points back. So just use your pair of compass to make the connections with thick lines. Can you see that it's going through all the points? That's it. Then the next thing you do is you connect this part with a thick line. That's it. Now, because this part is sectioned, like it's cut off from the elevation, we're going to have to hatch it. So I will use my 45 degrees set square to do the hatching real quick. So that's it. This is the sectional plan. Now let us go and finish up with the development. Now remember, this is what the seam XX. All right, so I'm going to use here X as the seam. All right. However, for clarity purpose, let me do something here. So this is the base, do not forget, of the cone. All right, and this is what the sliced part. So I'm going to call this point, let me zoom in a little bit so you see what I'm doing here. I'm going to call this point, since this one is the base, this is the top, that's the middle part here. So I'm going to call this 3 prime because this is 3 here, so I'll call it 3 prime. This 9 prime because this is 9, this is 10 prime, 11 prime. This is I can call it 0 prime or 12 prime. Okay, so let me just say 0 prime, 12 prime, and I'll call this 1 prime and this 2 prime. So this is for clarity purpose. So I'm going to trace up. So don't forget, both are what? 9 prime, 3 prime. This is 9 prime, this is 3 prime. So here, where it corresponds with, so I'll call this 9 prime, 3 prime. This is 2 prime, 10 prime. So this is 2 prime, 10 prime. I'm talking about this point now. Now this is 1 prime, 11 prime. So let me write it in this form. 1 prime, 11 prime. You don't necessarily have to write these numbers here, okay? It's for explanation purpose. That's why I'm doing all of this, so you get it. So the final one we have here is 0 prime, 12 prime. That's this point. So we have 0 prime, 12 prime. That's this point here. All right, now let us continue. So to develop this, you needle your pair of compass here. All right, stretch to this base. Okay, and draw an arc. Thin lines for now. Thin lines for now. So I have an arc there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this into 12 equal parts. How do I do that? Just come over here and take one of the divisions. Okay. Since they are all equal, you can stretch anyone, maybe 6 to 5, for example. You may as well stretch 6 to 7 or 7 to 8, whichever one that is okay for you. So just needle here and step off 1, 12 divisions, 2, up to 12, 3. Okay, so that's it. Thin lines. Now the next you're going to do, I've already labeled it. You connect each to the apex here. Thin lines. You do same for 11. 10 back to till you get to 1. Okay, so that's it. Now what you do next is you needle here and stretch to this point. All right, that's where you have 0 prime, x prime, and draw an arc. Okay, so draw an arc all the way till you get here. So you stop. Thin lines. All right, now let us draw the development. Now this is the reason why I have to label this part. So let me zoom this in so you can, okay, just hold on. Let me explain something here first. So now we want to draw the development. Now first of all, the base is complete. Any part, as you can see from the elevation, no part of the base is cut off. So that means this is just going to be thick lines. That's the base. Just going to be thick arc. So I'm going to make this thick. Okay, so I've done that already. Okay, that's for the base. Now what about this part? Now let's see. Now this is what? 3 prime and 9 prime. It means that, remember, you have 3 at the bottom, 3 prime, 9 prime I meant. You have 3 at the bottom, then when you coming towards the middle, that's this 3 prime now. Okay, so you see 3 prime. So that means wherever you see 2, you have 2 prime on top, 3 you have 3 prime on top, 1 you have 1 prime, and so on. So now what do you have here? What you have here are what? 3 prime and 9 prime. So I will zoom this in so you see what I'm doing. So this is 3 prime. Remember, all of the dots, they are on one arc, same arc. All of them, 3 prime, 9 prime, 10 prime, 2 prime, all of them, they're on the same arc. So what you're just going to do is trace where each of the number, just like the one you have 3 prime corresponding with 3 here, 2 prime corresponding with 2, 1 prime corresponding with 1, 9 prime corresponding with 9. So you also do match them up while working your way up. So now this is for, let's start with this. So this is for what? 9 prime, 3 prime. Now wherever you see 9 and 3, you trace. So here we have 3. So that means directly on top of it is what? 9 prime. So we have a dot here. How did I get this? The base you have 9, the top you have 9 prime. Or rather, the base you have 3, the top you have 3 prime. So the base you have 3, the top you have 3 prime. Remember, 3 prime is here. Okay? Now, remaining 9 prime, we've done from 3 prime, 9 prime. So you continue until you get to 9. So here we have 9, and this is 9 prime. I hope that's clear. Now the next one is what? 2 prime, 10 prime. So wherever you see 2 and 10, you dot. So we have 2 here. So that means directly on top of 2, we have what? 2 prime. We have 10 here. Directly on top of 10, you have what? 10 prime. The next one is 1 prime, 11 prime. So you trace wherever you see 1, this is 1 here. Directly on top, you have 1 prime. And 11 also, you move directly on top of 11, you have 11 prime. All right. Then lastly, we have 0 prime, 12 prime. So here, directly on top, 0 prime here. That's the beginning. And you trace, continue to 12. You have 12 here. Directly on top, 12 prime. That is it. All right. So we are going to now needle our pair of compass here and connect this 3 dots or 4 dots rather with a thick line. So you see that. Then connect this one also with a thick line until you stop at the 4th dot. That's it. So we've gotten this part. Now connect this part with a thick line. All right, that's it. Okay, now you're going to connect this. What do you see here? 3, right? This is the 3 prime. The 3 prime here is connected to the apex. This is the apex of the cone. And the 9 prime here is connected to where? The apex. This is the apex of the cone. So you also come here and look for 3 prime. Where do you have printer? This is 3. We have 3 prime here. So we'll connect it to the apex with thick line. That's it. Then look at 9. This is 9 prime. So we'll connect 9 prime to the apex just like you have it here. 9 prime to the apex. So you connect 9 prime to the apex. And there you have it, guys. So this is the entire drawing. The development, we've answered that question. That's question number. The pattern development using XX as the same. So this is the development, and the what? The plan, the sectional plan. This is the sectional plan. So what you just have to do is you label. Now let me show you how to label your drawings, okay? And it will make them presentable. So you label like this. So this is the sectional plan, all right? And this is the development, all right? So you can see, very, very simple. If you do not understand, rewind the video, start all over again, you will get it. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, for those of you that have subscribed to my channel. And for those who haven't, please just click the subscribe button and also the like button. Thank you very much. I will come up with more interesting videos. Do have a nice day.